Welcome to NBC News. That's news of Baudrillard Company. Today we have an exclusive interview with the Baudrillard. Jean, how are you today? Oui, merci for having me on this show. Ça va, you ask? I am quite good. Je m'appelle Jean Baudrillard. Now, Jean, you are famous for your ideas of hyper-relativity. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? So basically, the idea of hyper-relativity comes from the idea that simulations are indistinguishable from reality, or whatever that means.
Yes.
For example, if you were to be stuck in a simulation, then you would not be able to tell you were in the simulation, huh? What are some other notable ideas that you've come up with? We? Well, I've had many notable achievements. I think one of my most notable achievements was the idea of sign value, which is to say that I was a philosopher, but I was also an economist. So if you have things that are more seen as elite or more perceived as elite,
Yes.
I mean, these ideas of reality and value, they come down to perception, and if you have something that's seen as elite,
Truly fascinating.
then it's going to have a direct correlation with the amount of money that it is valued at. Karl Marx was very against this idea because he thought it was very capitalist, and I don't necessarily disagree, but it certainly has a sort of je ne sais pas to it. Can you talk a little bit about your idea of simulacra
yes,
and simulation and how it integrates in today's society and today's media platform? So this idea of sensibility and whatnot, it comes from hyperrelativity and really gets into this simulation concept. You ask how it plays in with the modern ideas and modern media. Well, I most recently watched the movie The Matrix, and it kind of goes back to that. Or if you've seen the show The Good Place, it delves into the idea that we don't know when we are being tricked. We do not know when we are being taken over by the higher power. We do not know when we are in the simulation. And what defines a simulation? Well, that is something that I have pondered for many years, and I do not have a finite answer for you today. I'm so sorry, NBC. However, for me, a simulation is something that is taking the person away from their reality, whatever that means for them. But, again, this all comes down to perception. So I guess my last question for you, Jean, is how do you see your ideas developing over the next century, over the next millennium, with these new changing ideas of media and technology? How do I think it will develop? Well, as an excellent question, I would say that as society grows, our philosophy must grow with it. You see, 1500 years ago, Galileo and Copernicus and Socrates and Plato and Aristotle, they were the cornerstones of Western philosophy, but alas, most of their ideas have been stripped since new technology has come forward. And the idea of a simulation, as one put it, would only be tangible in a dream concept if you were asking these questions in the time of Plato or Aristotle, whatnot, etc. So how I think it will develop, I do not know, and I think that is okay. We can't know the future does not know us, and we do not know the future. This is just the will of man, this is the ill fate of humankind. But I think it will develop because simulations will become an everyday thing. Virtual reality is taking over the world, and although I died in 2007, I could see it happening. And I can see it happening more. So,
Well, there you have it, folks. Thank you for joining us with this exclusive interview of the Jean Baudrillard
at NBC
Merci
News.
beaucoup.
That's news of Baudrillard Company. Have a good night. Keep warm.